Hello everyone, how's it going? Remember to hit the like, sub, and share button. It does help me a great deal. If you want to support me, you can hit the join button or super thanks. And if you dislike the video, hit the dislike button. So Black Myth Wukong, I've been playing this game. I'm like on chapter 3. I say I'm halfway through the game if my predictions are correct. But I've been enjoying this game. It has a lot of technical issues like the lighting. There's a lot of problems with that. Frame rate issues with the water and the Destined One's clothing. And I fell through the world like 3 times. But overall, it is incredibly impressive. The presentation, the world, the boss fights are freaking awesome. So yeah, it's a really good game, and a lot of people agree. It's 10 million copies, which is absolutely insane. Like, oh my god, like rarely do any game even come close to those types of numbers. And this did it in a couple of days. Like, that is absolutely insane and well deserved. Like, they made a good game, word of mouth spread, and the power of word of mouth is extremely powerful. You have people talking about it, favorite content creators, just ordinary people just telling their friends, hey, you gotta play this game. And this is only available on PC and PlayStation. Granted, all my technical issues, I can only speak for PlayStation. I'm playing on PS5, but yeah, it is an absolutely standalone success in all the positive things that have been said about this game. Well deserved. Granted, there were a lot of negative reception for the game leading to its launch, such as that IGN article where they said that the game science developers were like doing some awful things, and then turns out it was mistranslated in a lot of ways. But yeah, but I feel like it also showcases that, just like with Elden Ring, that these types of games are just as much in demand as they've ever been. Like, the tried and true method of just making a good game will always work. Like it happened with Baldur's Gate 3, 15 million copies. I've only beaten this game once because I really suck at this game. Like, I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. I really suck at this game, but I beat it. And yeah, it was, wow, the choices in this game were insane. Like, I'm pretty sure I only got like 10% of the choices like I should. But this game is absolutely amazing. Elden Ring, 25 million copies. Then we have the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC, which is 5 million copies, which likely will go up as time goes on. And we also had like Stellar Blade, which also had a lot of negative reception surrounding it because Eve was an attractive woman and they based it off a Korean model. That stupid garbage. Regardless, this game was also good. I highly recommend it if you like Souls-like games. Black Myth Wukong, I wouldn't say it's a Souls-like. I'd say more it's in line with Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth. It's more of an action RPG in its sense. But Stellar Blade, I would say it's more like a Souls-like. But I highly recommend this game. This sold 1 million copies. Not the same as like 10 million with Black Myth Wukong. But still, really well done. And then we also had Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which apparently didn't do as well as Remake, but still had some pretty good numbers, I would assume. At least I hope it did. This is currently my game of the year. Maybe I'm just coping because I want this game to do well. I love Final Fantasy, and I feel like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth isn't getting the recognition it deserves. Like, I really feel bad for this because this game blew me away in so many ways. Look, I like Black Myth Wukong, but I think Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is a lot more fun, engaging, and it was also more technically stable. Like, I had no issues playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth from start to finish in any regard. Maybe other people had issues, but I didn't have any problems with it, as opposed to Black Myth Wukong, which, again, I fell through the world 3 times, so just saying. Same thing for Stellar Blade. Stellar Blade was also really stable. I was really shocked about how stable it was. But, yeah. It just shows that you make a good game, people will buy it, as opposed to Concord, which I did a video on. This game is flopping hard, and it just came out today. Granted, this is just Steam numbers, but Steam numbers tend to be a good indication of how it's performing on other platforms as well. Steam is, after all, one of the biggest PC platforms available, and this is a first-person shooter, which generally attracts PC players, so not exactly looking good for this $40 hero shooter where a lot of people aren't even talking about it. But yeah, and this game cost, like, apparently the rumor is it cost $100 million to make, but I don't know how much of that is true because they haven't given us a number, or maybe they did, and I'm just not finding it. I'm just finding third-party sources about that. But it did take 8 years to make, so $100 million seems like the number that makes sense. But regardless, like, Concord is failing hard. It's a game that no one really cared about or even wanted. People want this. Giant monkey beats demons with stick. And they want great games that simply tell a great story, have great gameplay behind it. It is a lot harder to do, but it's a lot less risk, because with a live service game, it goes one or two ways in my opinion. Like the charge will either go like this, like where it makes like the 1% of money with Fortnite, where these companies make like dirty money. Like Fortnite makes dirty money. So does PUBG, Warframe, like Destiny 2. I'm not really sure because of all the layoffs that have been happening. So I assume not so much anymore. And then Apex Legends, but they also canceled the mobile version of Apex Legends. So I feel like that game is also on the way out, considering they are changing the monetization system to nickel and dime as much as their player base as they can. Well, not even nickel and dime. It's more like nickel and penny their fan base. They're taking every penny they can from them. But yeah, I feel like live services are like on the way out, but the tried and true method of just making a good game, having word of mouth spread, is now the more ideal option. And not to say that there isn't a market for live service games, it's just like dying, and more people want traditional games in this sense. Like I feel like even with multiplayer games, people just want a traditional multiplayer game, and maybe that's more in the line. Maybe we might go back to the traditional sense of like them just selling map packs into multiplayer, which I don't think a lot of people will be happy about. I definitely want people, we've gotten used to them just delivering free content on that front. But yeah, congratulations to Black Myth Wukong. Great game. Shows that this type of mindset of making a great game and having it sell and letting the gameplay show for itself is still an incredibly useful marketing tool to this day. But tell me what you think in the comments below. Are you playing this game right now? What do you think of it? What's your game of the year? Like mine says Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, but it could change. I haven't beaten Black Myth Wukong. I'm planning to platinum the game before I make my review. But yeah, tell me what you think about the game, what your favorite game of the year is. And yeah, for me, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Stellar Blade, and this is an easy number 3, or it could overcup Stellar Blade. I don't think it would go above Final Fantasy VII Rebirth for me because I'm a huge Final Fantasy fan. I'm biased there. I'm sorry. I am. I think Final Fantasy IX is one of the greatest game ever invented. Anyway, that's it from me. Like, dislike, your choice. Bye.